Picture yourself lost in a dense, untamed forest, where every step feels uncertain and the air hums with a restless energy you can't quite place. Your thoughts swirl like leaves in a storm, chaotic, unrelenting, pulling you in every direction at once. One moment you're driven by ambition, the next you're paralyzed by doubt, or consumed by an impulse you can't explain. Why does your mind feel like a battlefield? Why do you sense a deeper, wilder force within you, one that both terrifies and intrigues you? This is the paradox of your inner chaos. It is both your greatest strength and your most dangerous enemy. Carl Jung, the sage of the psyche, called this the shadow, the untamed, hidden part of you that shapes your life in ways you barely notice. Imagine sitting alone at night, wrestling with a decision, feeling a tug-of-war between what you want and what you fear you might become. Why do you lash out when you mean to stay calm? Why do you chase fleeting pleasures when you know they'll leave you empty? The chaos isn't random, it's a signal, a cry from the depths of your being, a call to confront the parts of yourself you've buried. What if this turmoil isn't a flaw, but a map? What if the very chaos you dread holds the key to your wholeness? Jung believed that within this inner storm lies the raw material of your potential, but only if you dare to face it. The great question pulses like a heartbeat. How do you tame the chaos without losing the fire that makes you human? It's not about silencing the storm, but learning to dance with it. Yet the thought of diving into that darkness feels overwhelming, like stepping into a void with no promise of return. What if you're not strong enough to face what's hiding there? Or worse, what if you discover a truth about yourself you can't unsee? The tension builds, a quiet urgency that demands you look within, to the place where your chaos and your genius collide. The path to taming this force begins with a single, brave step: into the unknown. You've stepped into the forest of your mind where chaos reigns, thoughts colliding, impulses pulling, a storm you can't control. Or can you? Why does this inner turmoil exist, and why does it feel so impossible to tame? Carl Jung, the mystic of the psyche, believed this chaos is no accident. It's the shadow, the hidden half of your soul, where your fears, desires, and untamed instincts live. This isn't just a quirk of your mind, it's a universal force, rooted in the tension between who you are and who you've been taught to be. Jung argued that your chaos emerges from the split between your conscious self, the polite, rational you society approves, and the shadow, the raw, primal energy you've been taught to suppress. Imagine a child, wild and free, told to sit still, to obey, to hide their anger or passion. That child doesn't vanish. They're buried, festering in the dark, erupting as chaos when you least expect it. This is why you snap at a loved one, chase fleeting distractions, or feel a restless void you can't name. Psychologically, this chaos is your mind's rebellion against repression. Jung's contemporary, Sigmund Freud, saw the id as a similar force, a cauldron of untamed desires clashing with the ego's control. But Jung went deeper. Your chaos isn't just instinct, it's a call to wholeness. Society, however, has other plans. From birth, you're molded to fit. Schools teach conformity, media glorifies perfection, religion warns of sin. Your shadow, vibrant and messy, is labeled dangerous. So you push it down, creating a fracture in your identity. The result? A life of inner conflict, where your emotions swing from calm to rage, clarity to confusion. Philosophically, this echoes Nietzsche's warning. Modern life alienates you from your instincts, leaving you fragmented. Your chaos is not a flaw. It is a signal that you are out of alignment with your true self. But here's the paradox. The more you fight this chaos, the stronger it grows. Every time you silence your anger, ignore your desires, or conform to expectations, you feed the storm. Jung called this the unlived life, the parts of you denied expression, screaming for release. This affects not just your emotions, but your very sense of self. You start to feel like a stranger in your own skin, disconnected, restless, incomplete. The societal roots run deep. Capitalism rewards predictability, punishing the wildness that makes you unique. Religion, too, often demands you reject your shadow for salvation. But what if this chaos isn't your enemy? What if it's the raw material of your greatness waiting to be shaped? The tension builds as you realize this inner storm isn't just personal. It is a universal struggle, played out in every human heart. Left untamed, it can consume you, leading to choices you regret, relationships you destroy, dreams you abandon. What happens when you ignore the shadow's call? What does it cost to live a life divided against itself? The consequences are more profound than you imagine, and they're about to unfold. Your inner chaos rages, a storm of conflicting desires and buried fears. But what happens when you leave it untamed? The consequences ripple through your life, silent but seismic, reshaping your reality in ways you barely see. Jung warned that ignoring your shadow doesn't make it disappear. It grows stronger, leaking into your choices, your emotions, your very existence. Neurologically, this chaos stems from the limbic system, unchecked impulses clashing with your prefrontal cortex, attempts at control. Every time you suppress an emotion, anger, passion, grief, you don't erase it, you bury it, and it festers, erupting as impulsive decisions or paralyzing doubt. Picture yourself snapping at a loved one, not because they wronged you, but because your shadow's unrest found a crack to escape. This isn't just personal, it's cultural. Society demands you present a polished self, rewarding conformity while punishing the raw, messy truth of who you are. Psychologically, this creates cognitive dissonance. You feel torn between the person you show and the chaos within, and the tension drains you. The cost is profound. Your relationships fray as your unpredictability pushes others away. Your creativity dims as you fear the wildness that fuels it. Jung's contemporary Erich Fromm spoke of the fear of freedom. You avoid your shadow because facing it means owning your power and your flaws. But avoidance comes at a price. You become a stranger to yourself, disconnected from your own desires. Culturally, you're conditioned by a world that fears chaos. Schools teach you to obey. Media glorifies control. Religion brands your shadow as sin. This amplifies the availability heuristic, where you overestimate the danger of your inner wildness because society demonizes it. The result? You live half a life, suppressing the fire that makes you unique. The urgency is undeniable. Left unchecked, your chaos doesn't just disrupt, it defines you. Your brain adapts, wiring itself to favor repression over expression, making authenticity feel like a risk too great to take. Society profits from this. Advertisers sell you distractions, systems reward your silence. The paradox stings. You fear your chaos, but it's the source of your vitality. What happens when you let it rule you in secret? You lose not just control but connection, to yourself, to others, to the life you're meant to live. The stakes are higher than you realized. This isn't about one outburst or one regret, but a fractured soul. You feel it, don't you? The restlessness of a life divided, the ache of a self unclaimed. The trap is subtle, but its consequences are real. Missed chances, broken bonds, a heart that feels incomplete. But what if taming this chaos doesn't mean destroying it? What if the storm holds the key to your wholeness? The breakthrough is near, and it's about to redefine everything. Your inner chaos swirls, a storm threatening to consume you. But what if taming it doesn't mean silencing it, but dancing with it? The radical shift is this. Your shadow isn't a flaw to be fixed. It is the raw material of your greatness. Carl Jung taught that to tame your chaos, you must integrate it, not destroy it. Stop running from the wildness within and start embracing it as your ally. Jung's process of individuation demands you face your shadow head-on, not with fear, but with curiosity. Imagine standing in that untamed forest, the chaos roaring around you. But this time, you don't flee. You sit with it. You ask, what does this anger, this fear, this restlessness want to teach me? Counterintuitively, the path to control is through surrender, not to chaos, but to understanding. Start with Jung's active imagination. Close your eyes, let a shadow emotion rise, and dialogue with it. Write what it says. This isn't woo-woo. It's psychological alchemy, rewiring your brain to see chaos as a guide. Neuroscience supports this. Engaging with emotion strengthens neural connections in your prefrontal cortex, giving you mastery over impulses. Look to Jung himself, who faced his own shadow through visions and art, transforming chaos into insight. Society tells you to suppress your wildness, but that's the trap. Repression fuels the storm. Instead, channel it. Paint, write, scream, move. Give your chaos a voice. Philosopher Alan Watts echoed Jung, urging you to embrace the wisdom of insecurity. Stop seeking control through conformity and start finding it in authenticity. Try this. Each day, do one act that feels unacceptable. Sing loudly, share a bold idea, admit a flaw. This breaks the cultural conditioning that chains your shadow. Historically, figures like Vincent van Gogh broke free by leaning into their chaos, painting through pain to create beauty. Your brain's plasticity means every act of courage rewires you, making authenticity feel less like a risk. The paradox is profound. By embracing your chaos, you find peace. Reject society's demand for a polished self, and reclaim the messy, vibrant you. Feel the shift, don't you? The power of owning your storm, of turning turmoil into strength. You're not taming chaos, you're harnessing it. The trap is fading, and a deeper truth is about to emerge. You've begun to dance with your chaos, embracing its wildness. But now, the final truth emerges, a revelation that redefines your very existence. The great lie wasn't it that your chaos is dangerous. It's that you ever needed to tame it at all. The paradigm shift is this. Your shadow isn't a flaw to be fixed, but the heartbeat of your humanity. And by embracing it fully, you become whole. Jung's vision of individuation wasn't about control, it was about integration, about weaving every part of you, light and dark, into a singular, vibrant self. Imagine standing in that forest, the storm no longer a threat, because you realize it's you. The anger, the fear, the wild desires, they're not enemies, they're pieces of your soul, calling you home. Society taught you to fear your chaos, to see it as a defect, but now you see the truth. It's your power, your creativity, your truth. Psychologically, this is Jung's alchemy. By facing your shadow, you transform it into strength. Your past struggles, every outburst, every doubt, suddenly make sense. They were your shadow begging to be heard, to be loved. The paradox is profound. By accepting your chaos, you find peace. Not by silencing it, but by giving it a voice. Picture yourself now, not fighting the storm, but moving with it. Creating, loving, living with a fierceness you once feared. This realization changes everything. Your relationships deepen as you show your true self. Your creativity soars as you channel your wildness. The world will still demand conformity, but you are no longer its captive. Take this truth and let it guide you. Express your anger, honor your fears, chase your passions, and do it all unapologetically. The channel you're on, our shared journey, is a call to keep embracing your depths, to keep integrating your chaos. Subscribe, join us, and let's keep exploring the wild, beautiful truth of who you are. Because your shadow isn't your prison, it's your freedom. Feel it now, don't you? The harmony rising, the wholeness emerging, a life no longer divided, but gloriously, messily you. Step into it, and let your chaos shine.